Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2020 Career Mode, episode 113. Failing 3 of our last 5 objectives has not been good. But through that stretch, we haven't had anything resembling great race day conditions. In fact, none of our top riders have had really good race day conditions. The riders that have always been the domestiques of the bunch. So I suppose passing 2 of those when it's all classics, and classics is our weakness, I suppose it's to be expected. Right now, we still have 100% sponsor confidence, which is amazing. Really amazing, because I don't feel like we've done that well to have a 100% sponsor confidence, especially with our squad evaluation. Yet somehow we've done it. If we're going to maintain it, though, the next 2 races are incredibly important. Like, super important. Bing Bank is after the turn, after we are past our signing period. So, of the 6 that remain, the by far biggest are the next 2. And then Giro after that makes up the only other one that's even 2 stars. But Fleche, Wallone, LBL, top 3, top 5, big asks. But they are the type of classic that we can get a result in compared to the cobbled classics, where we are vastly inferior to where we need to be. Punchiness is not a weakness for us, but of course, like all of our strengths that we do have, we're nowhere near the strongest in the Peloton. We are not strong compared to the other World Tour teams. We always punch above our weight and just get closer. Last race, we punched exactly where our weight was. We got 11th with Vermark when Vermark had a chance to have a podium, and then just faded in the final few hundred meters despite having energy, which was just awkward and weird and disheartening. That was a half-star objective. That's why that didn't hurt. Fleche, Wallone, we do that, it's going to hurt. Liege-Bastogne-Liege, we do that, that's going to really hurt, as that's our biggest objective of the year. So, let's give it a shot, see what we can do. On to Fleche, Wallone, and then LBL. Alright, so we're going to take things at times 4 speed for a little bit, coming into this one a little early. So it's Fleche, Wallone, we need a top 3, and it's a 3-star objective. It's a pretty climby, undulating race, but it's definitely a punchy finish. Not all punchers will get there, depending on how the end of the race is. So far, though, pace is really just now starting to pick up. Breakaway of 11 had a 4-minute gap. It's suddenly down to 2.5 minutes. We pulled back a minute and a half in just the last 20K or so. So, pace really starting to pick up. Fatigue, though, not quite setting in. You can see Rakovic starting to hurt. Millar starting to hurt just a little bit. Our guys that are serving as the domestiques today, beginning to feel it a little bit. But here we go. We're getting into that final bit where it's constant undulation. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Roller coaster to the finish. Early, we had some longer, more gradual climbs. But now it really picks up with that up, down, up, down. So here we go. 1.6K on this one. And yes, it's under 2 minutes now to the break. And Movistar's starting to up the tempo a little bit. They sent 2 riders forward into the pursuit of the breakaway group. Moreno, Rakovic still doing okay. Eric Butt has a +1 today. The big news for me, for Mark, +3. Rodriguez, another +1. Race day condition, finally, for the first time in like 6 races, is exactly what it's supposed to be today. Exactly what it's supposed to be. And, for a change, the positive is actually going to riders who need it. Moreno, we don't need him to have a positive. Kankis, we don't need him to have a positive. Those guys are domestiques here. Okay. Time to pick this up a little bit. We'll push 80 now, and we're going to send Moreno back to get water. This is actually a good enough time to get that because he'll drop back quickly. Or not. I sent him to get water, and he never sat up. Now he sits up over the top. He could have already been on his way back towards the front. 154 of the Peloton. It's already starting to break up just a little bit. And the gap's down to a minute 40. So I'm not too worried about the breakaway today. It looks like they are much closer. We're in much better shape to bring those guys back. I do like actually seeing some damage in Moreno, in Reykjavik, because that means the Peloton will start breaking up before too long. 47k to go. So we're done with the water. We're just about. There we go. Moreno finishes the task. 1.2k on this one. And our 80s, we're going to have to start picking that up a little bit more, but not quite yet. This next one is very short. Here we go, over the top. Before the next one, I think. That's final 5 climbs. We're going to need to be at about an 83 for the next couple. There we go. Okay, Reykjavik is probably going to need his gel. I think Millar and Moreno are going to hang on for a little bit longer than Reykjavik will. As expected, tempo picking up. 83, not quite enough, but it's early enough. Peloton's big enough that you can afford to conserve a little bit of energy. However, now that's no longer the case. 1.5k for the next climb. It's the Murdohi. It's the finishing climb, but not the finish yet.
The breakaway is not to everybody's liking. The Peloton has significantly increased its speed.
See just how steep this finish is. 18%. And then it levels off towards the end, but there goes Reykjavik going backwards. We're seeing some splits here. Most of that's temporary. But this group, these guys coming off, yeah, they're not going to make it back. And it looks like there's 1 or 2 more riders at the back there. Maybe 3 riders I could see that are about done. So we're down to about 68 now. Eric Butt, I'm not sure he's going to make it. He's not going to be our main guy anyway today. I think Rodriguez may end up being the one to lead out for Mark. Eric Butt hit the base of the climb, maybe even Wykankis before him. His mountain rating is just way too low, and resistance for that matter. All right, so we still have an 8-man break. It's gotten smaller, but they've got almost a minute. That'll melt away pretty quickly, but we don't want to risk 1 or 2 guys. 17k to go. This is the big climb outside of the double finishing climbs. We got to hit it. 1 more here, and then once we hit the top, sprint train, and we set ourselves up. All right. I think somebody else kind of had a similar idea, but they went a little earlier than we did. So there's that. We got to watch out for that. Eric Butt, Wykankis have reverted to actually what would be expected. Millar and Moreno are done. I kind of missed that detail there. 12.8k. That's a good distance to cover for 4 riders. So we can't go too hard with Wykankis. Got a bit of a downhill here, though. That's going to help.
The riders have upped the pace.
57 left. Never mind. 66. Is it still yo-yoing? And we're still just coming forward. We are in order now, at least. And with 9k to go, Wykankis pulling clear. I don't want to attack this climb too hard. This is going to be more about staying near the front. So we're going to slow this up.
Features some dreadful percentages.
91. Good. We're actually holding up the train. Mollberger not able to go by. Alaphilippe attacking way too early. McNulty, Mollberger. Okay, that could be a little issue, but we're okay. We're okay. 6k. Unfortunately, Eric Butt's only going to last for a moment here. As expected, he is just way too tired. So Rodriguez want to be at the front at the base of the climb, and that's just not going to be the case. Where's Vermark? Come on, buddy. Got to get up on the wheel. Got to get up on the wheel. Gel. 3.5k. We are not in an ideal position here, as we're seeing an attack from Mataway early, and Rodriguez still can't find his way through this bit. 1.7k, and Mataway's got an advantage. 11 seconds. I'm trying to speed up, not slow down, and it's slowing me down. 700 meters. Okay, just attack, Rodriguez. Attack. We need a top 3, which is a bit of a problem because we're not in.
Who's going to be the first to the line today?
I don't want to attack yet for Mark. Now attack for 5th. We're actually going to fail. Yershav takes the win. That was Bahrain Cycling Academy. Shockman, Alfleep, Hershey. That's a great result. 5th place. Rodriguez took 7th. I should be happy with that. But the objective was top 3. Partial failure? I don't pay much attention to that. I don't know, this year, you used to always get that plain, you get orange instead of red. I don't know what's going on this year, if they eliminated it. Never seem to actually see that. The riders are happy. Confidence is still at 100%. I suppose that's important. Oh, we did it. Okay, we got orange. We got orange. I'll take it. If we succeed with LBL, we'll cruise to 100% confidence. If we fail, I think we're still going to get blue. And for me, it's I still want that 100%, but we might not get it if we totally fail. Liege-Bastogne-Liege top 5 is the objective for that one. That makes both of these pretty hard. I mean, if they were your standard top 10, 5th place would have been a super success. We would have had the blue. That would have been nice. 5th was good. Top 5 is challenging. Alright, so 4 races in a row. We were slightly below race day condition expectations. Now 2 races in a row, we are exactly at expectation. Odds are we're due a good day, but Moreno picking up the +5. Do we ride for Moreno today? I think we do. He's an 80-80 today. 80-80 for Moreno.
There's now more than a minute between
Yowzer.
them.
That is pretty dang good. So yes, Moreno is absolutely going to feature in this race today. Vaikenkis might have that 79 hill, but he's got big minuses. Again, no reason for it. Fitness is only 92%. We're trying to balance out to keep him away from fatigue, but he doesn't have fatigue, so there's no reason. He was close to it and had to take a little break, but 92% fitness is not bad. You might not see a bonus, but he should be straight 0. But for whatever reason, he's had -2s and -3s for the last couple weeks in every single race. Millar picks up a -2. Eric Butt has a -1 today, so that's not going to help him because of that 65 mountain rating. There's a lot of undulation in the final third of this 260-kilometer race. So I'm not even sure I will try to protect him necessarily today. Reykjavik looks pretty good. Stamina resistance, very high. Pretty punchy. Vermark, of course, we're going to ride for him. So let's go ahead and set that up. And then Vaikenkis, yeah, as punchy as he is, we can't ride for him today. Rodriguez might end up being the other one. Is it going to be? Or we just leave him alone. There we go. That task done. We'll need it 2 more times. And the first of those 2, we're not going to wait too long till we get it because we don't want to get into the heavy climbing beforehand. So we'll get past that halfway point. We'll get just under 120, and then we'll have another go. Already getting a little bit of blinking red at a 76 this early on. Gap's down to 4 minutes. So we definitely are riding a little bit up tempo. Heart rate wise, though, we're just hovering below the 140. So damage is not really being done yet as we hit that 120 mark. Waikinkus, go ahead and get the water right now before we very quickly get to the second biggest climb of the day. 4.5K, 5%. It's not that bad, but it's the tempo, it's the pace. 330 is the gap, so it is coming down. It's back to a healthy level. Waikinkus starting to feel it. Millar, Eric Butt just barely starting to feel it, but again, another downhill section. There's a lot of downhill sections. We are higher than the finish right now. That helps. That helps with the recovery, but of course, that heart rate's going to start to pick up, and it's not going to get lower. But we are getting into the tougher areas. We'll stay at ×4 from here. 1.3K. Pretty big uphill here. And we're going to have to just pick this up a little bit more. Now to an 80. Peloton already splitting. 84 riders. It's coming back together a little bit, but not entirely. Some of those groups will be gone, for sure, forever. Never to see them again. Until the next race. Hopefully. Man, wouldn't that be something if we just suddenly turn this into Hunger Games? Huh? There's an idea for a series. Whoever finishes last in every race is eliminated from the database. Could be a little experiment series. Actually, let me know in the comments if you think that would be cool to see. Biggest climb of the day does some damage. Eric Butt and Millar and Waikinkus all really feeling it after that one. The descent here will allow for a little bit of recovery, but very little. So let's pick up the gels for those three so they survive just a little longer. And we're very soon going to be down to 4 riders. 50K to go. This is the time to get water. Can't be one of those 4 getting it, though. Even Waikinkus, or sorry, 3. Waikinkus is feeling it way too much, so we need Rodriguez. Not the guy you would expect, but he has got to go back and get that water. 72, chasing 13, and
there's an attack in the group at the front.
Also 84. Dang, they went from front to back very quickly. That was not just our guys exhausted. Another little uphill section, then a downhill. It's a short uphill, so they should be okay. Millar, Eric Butt, there they go. Close call there for a second when we went to get water. I always seem to have issues when I get water. Alright, Reykjavik recovering for Mark, nearly recovered. Rodriguez, Moreno, Waikinkus up front. Waikinkus hanging on, but he'll be done on this next climb. And Reykjavik back in position, so we're okay now. Let's also fix this. Say 86 now. Just 36K to go. I mean, we're very quickly coming down to the end. And that breakaway starting to crumble, and we're down to about a minute. 2K on this one, 8.7 kilometers. It's about the longest climb we have left.
The riders are in a portion above 10%.
Rodriguez doing just fine. Reykjavik for Mark hanging on. And Moreno looking really good with that +5. Holy cow, he is not feeling this much at all. Rodriguez is a little bit. As predicted, Waikinkus is about to time out. Millar's climbing pretty well at this point, but this Peloton, I think, is going to split over the top of this one, I think. For a moment, it does the opposite. But here's that split that I predicted. Suddenly, we've got just 30 left at the front. I think a few guys will latch on, but maybe not the whole 36 that are chasing. And these 4 looking pretty good, but we need to reset. How are we going to do this? Reykjavik is definitely going to be support, but who is he supporting? I think we've got to do, yeah, with 73 Hill. There we go. Rodriguez to service for Mark. Reykjavik working for Moreno. There's the break. It's a short enough climb. We're okay. Do not need to speed this up.
The little promenade is over. The group
And
has been
the first
overhauled.
and third group join us. And now, at least for a moment anyway, we had a very large peloton once again. But then that back group splits off and splits off. So a double split there. And we end up with 42 in the peloton. Next little sequence of climbs is the hardest of what remains. But it's short and steep. And then it comes in bits and pieces. And then the final is a double climb, where this one also really is a double climb. So 22K to go. Don't need water. We're good. We're done there. Reykjavik is not going to make it too much longer, but he should, I think, make it just through. We're going to wait until we're through this double climb. 86 is not fast enough, though. Let's pick that up. We are seeing an unexpected major acceleration on this one. Unfortunately, we're going to have to counter this. Reno, follow over Mark, follow Rodriguez, and follow Reykjavik. So Reykjavik, not what I expected here, but he's got to get a moving. Two riders escape off the front, immediately reeled back in. And we got some tired legs here, and not everybody made the splits. Rodriguez way behind Reykjavik. Let's hold up. Rodriguez tries to cover the gap. Can't exactly do it. Wait for this rider. Okay, now go again. 9 chasing 19. This is definitely not an ideal position to be in, but you can see how quickly we're going to cover this off. Possibly. Possibly not. That acceleration was faster and harder than I expected, and I mean, just look how tired Rodriguez in 81 Mountain struggled through that. And he's now going to have to chase pretty hard to get back. I mean, we're riding 18th wheel right now. Reykjavik is definitely done. He's going backwards. But 14K to go. Big downhill. Rodriguez will... Oh, I thought he was going to have enough energy to get through that. He does not. And the gap has opened in a bad way. 11.7. Mark's got to start the pursuit here on the downhill.
The finish line is getting close. The riders just
Okay,
passed the
gel
10
for
kilometer
Mark.
line. Falling behind. A team leader is falling behind.
These guys try to sit on if you can. They're not going to recover enough energy on this. Not a fan of towing along these 5 other guys, but if we have any chance, we've got to catch up, and we're 45 seconds behind. And as we hit the flat here for Mark, there goes his energy. This just ruined our chances of a top 5. It really did. Okay, we are back in it, but that's red bar gone. And Moreno, now it's 11 that go away, and we're not able to cover that off. Now it's a top 10 that have gone away.
There are just 5 kilometers left.
And we're not going to catch those guys, are we? We might catch 1 or 2, but we're going to have to recover here. Rodriguez and Reykjavik are gone. Vermark is here. Let's follow him now on the descent. That front 10 got away from us. It was 17. At least we pulled that back a little bit, but how many of these guys can Moreno catch in 1.4K? I don't know. He might catch a few. He obviously is looking pretty good. The climbing is done here in just a moment. He's got to catch one of them. He's going to get 10th. 400 meters. Alaphilippe takes the win. Yershaw, Shockman, Simmons. 20K out. 20K out. Absolutely caught me off guard. We do get 10th. It's a partial failure. That's better than it was. I was looking really dire there for a little bit. I did not expect that attack 25K out to be so effective. I didn't think that gap would open. I misread that situation for sure. Absolutely. That is on me for misreading that, because we could have responded. We did respond, but when we responded, it was gone. It was already too late. 20 riders just bam, all attacked off the front and went away. And then all of a sudden we had almost a minute's gap. That was a difficult chase to bring that back. And we never actually brought it back, did we? I mean, we kind of made contact, almost, but not really. And ultimately what it came down to was that group went too hard and blew up. Ended up with 10 riders left. So we found ourselves riding for 18th. We, with what we had, strength, power we had, beat everybody. Moreno beat everybody of the group we were with, handily. The group, the 17 off the front, that had a minute's gap on us, blew up. But not entirely. Half the group blew up. And we picked them off. We just picked them off one at a time, staying true and kind of doing what we had to do in that moment. I wonder what our gap was, because, again, it was almost a minute. So what did we ultimately recover? I mean, obviously, we beat out Pidcock at the end. That was important, because it was down to that last 10, and we were able to overtake Pidcock there to the finish line. So that was big, because we got the top 10. But how far was Moreno behind at the finish? That would show a lot as to just how much those guys gained in that move. 47 seconds. So ultimately we covered off a little bit of that distance and then beat everybody else behind us, where Hugh Carthy and Pogačar finished right at a minute. So all we did was beat out our own group, essentially, and never really covered the distance. We gained a few seconds on those guys, and that was it. That was unfortunate that I allowed that one to slip out of our reach. But we got a top 10. That's okay. It's only a partial failure. That is so much better than what it could have been. And for our 4-star objective for the year, what is the damage? I'm assuming not too bad. If we were outside of the top 10, it would be a whole lot worse. I think we might actually see a sliver here. Wow. Okay, we do not. That is so surprising. That is really surprising. Our sponsor likes us. Because look at that. Our top 4 objectives, 2 partial failures and 2 absolute failures. All that's left is the Giro at 2 stars. So that really drops off. We're fine. Giro's next. We could fail, and it might actually open up that sliver. But we're hitting our 100% objective. No doubt about that one. And that's good. This always helps. Always helps having the registered riders up. But yeah, tough stretch. I mean, we've only succeeded in 2 of our last 7. 2 partial failures, 1 total success in the one race that was not a World Tour race at a very low objective for us. But with what's left, it adds up to be just LBL in terms of stars, ultimately. I mean, just about anyway. So we're fine. We're going to start cruise mode. We're about to hit May, so dossiers are about to open. And pace is going to pick up. Giro's going to take some time, and we got to fight for a top 5. And we will fight for that top 5 because I think we are a team now capable of that. I think Pavel Rodriguez could pull that off. So looking forward to that. That's going to be the big part of what remains for the season. Tour de France, they want a top 5 as well. Do I focus on that one as well? We'll see. That's going to take a lot of episodes to focus on those 2 races both. That's a big ask. I might actually even just bypass most of the rest of the races because this is going to be a very long season if we play out all of it. So maybe let me know in the comments below a few key races you really hope to see for this season. Obviously, the Giro will be a big focus. Not entirely sure about the Tour, so you might want to mention that one if you do want to see the Tour. But if the Dauphiné or Tour de Suisse matter, let me know. If there's other races still on the calendar to come and you want to see them, especially as they're not going to be like Tour de Romandie, probably bye-bye unless you say otherwise. Eschborn Frankfurt, definitely bye-bye. We will not be focusing on those races. I'm going to have some empty spaces on the calendar after the Giro. I haven't filled that in yet. But the Dauphiné, Swiss, Mont Ventoux is always a fun one. It's short. You can kind of go straight to the final climb. But do we want to see that? National championships? Yes, I always give a little bit there. Started to plan out a few things up ahead. San Sebastian, I don't see any reason why any of these races matter. Vuelta, I think I'm not even going to play the Vuelta. I might just quick sim the whole thing. Again, unless there's a big ask. Bink Bank Tour, it's after, so it's not going to matter. It's another one. No reason to have the Canadian races. Worlds, I don't normally do. Lombardia, maybe. Yeah, I think most of the end of the season is just going to be quick simmed. But at least up until about the Tour and the National Championships, there's still a few big races to go. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. We'll take a quick look here at how the team is doing. Still 4th in the World Tour rankings. And now 7th in the Super Prestige. We have slipped down a little bit through the Classics period. That makes sense to me. We're not grabbing wins right now like we were before. We're competitive in some, not in others, and we're quick simming all the other races. So, I mean, what is it? What do you expect us to do score-wise right now? We're still very, very tight through at least AG2R, so we could easily bounce back up. And I think top 5s in some Grand Tours will help, especially if we turn top 5 into, like, say, a podium. I don't think Pavel Rodriguez will contend for the win. He'll fly under the radar enough, and we'll have enough support that he should get a good finish. But he's never going to be the challenger. All right. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. And bye for now.